Hi, I'm sorry that this video just has slapped on pictures. I'm just trying to make a quick response. I can't get webcam to work on my computer, so I can't turn this into a regular, face video. There've been a lot of comments I didn't expect from folks reacting to my comments on the trio of videos between Christopher L., Blue Ridge, and Cajun Punk on the whole question of rebuking false teachers. I'm just commenting on the doctrines involved. Okay, I like you guys, all of you, and pretty much everybody on YouTube, to be honest. But I need to say this now so that I can sort of calm down all the comments I'm getting, because I won't be able to get back to you. I've got work I've got to do. I've got to talk to God about this more. But the doctrine about how do you expose a false doctrine is a lot more complicated than I think we're recognizing. And we've all been talking about it for months. You guys maybe for years. I've not been here that long. I've seen comments from Gospel Jazz and Paracchio, Edge 12, things that Guam has said, stuff from Gear Up, stuff from Sable Chicken. I've been, the whole community. If I'm not mentioning your name, I mean to. Please forgive me. But, where I'm coming from on that is the big picture, because that's the only way I can figure out a thing. If the Bible doesn't tell me what it is, I don't know what it is. And the Bible's doctrine on this is very far-ranging. Okay? So where it looks like it breaks down at the moment, and I might take down this video, revise it later, is that if you're a pastor, you have to make certain very specific arguments about false teachers, because it's part of your job. I mean, the Lord did that, but the Lord is our cue, okay? He's our role model, and if you look at how He does it, He doesn't mention specific teachers. He does mention specific falsehoods, okay? And I'm thinking, okay, that's the highest level, the big picture that we should be working with. And then the next level down, like Cajun Pump brought up in his stuff, in his comments to me on his own video, look at 1 Timothy 1:20 and 2 Timothy 4:14 and 15. Yeah, but Paul is talking to Timothy, and Timothy's a pastor. All right? So the pastor does have that job. All right, but we're not pastors. Do we have that job? That's where I'm coming from on it. You got all the stuff that's going on in James, where James is essentially writing because all the Christians that he had charge over were backbiting each other all the time. And he was telling them not to do that. And then you have Paul, who of course was being falsely accused, just like the Lord was being falsely accused. And there were people, within the church, Christians, persecuting Paul. The Jerusalem church was persecuting Paul. All right? And then Paul himself has to sometimes call out people. Okay, but that's the Jerusalem church and Paul having his office as a teacher. And, when you're in charge like that, you do have to say things. Okay, well then what's the application to us? We're not in charge. But yet, even though we're not in charge, if we seem to be going along with the false teacher, that's a problem. And Cajun Punk is basically bringing that up, and I agree with him. And so was Christopher L., and I agree with him. But I also agree with Blue Ridge that pastors, if you're under a pastor, you should honor him. And of course, if the pastor's teaching false, you should leave him. I mean, that we all know. All right, but what responsibility do we as individual believers have to call out somebody who's teaching false? And that's a nettlesome question. It really is. And I honestly don't know. It's a minefield question, and there's so much doctrine on it from Genesis to Revelation, really, that I'm not sure we can just simply say, oh, we're supposed to call those people out. I mean, on the one hand, you can argue we should, because after all, every one of us is a priest in training to be a king. And isn't a king supposed to declare? Yeah, but then why does the Bible keep making all these distinctions? And why are there so many warnings against speaking against teachers in the Bible? I mean, there's a whole lot of it. I mean, there got to be 500-600 verses altogether. So all I can say to you guys is just, bear with me. I'm trying to figure out how to formulate this. And, maybe later on I'll take down this video and replace it with something else on the topic. Meanwhile, there's the videos that I did on royal responsibility. That was in response to Edge's video on counting the cost. And that's kind of where my head is at, but I got to keep talking to God. Thanks a lot.